Hello YouTube and welcome back to another Good Game Nation video where we bring you everything TCG. Today I'm here with Zach. Zach, say hello.
What up, what up, what up?
It's really weird doing these intros without Preston. He's literally been doing this entire channel, so this week has been uh, interesting. I think I got it. I don't know. I'll have to get a stamp of approval later. Anyway, today is the week we're starting our limited battle series videos. We're going to cover each color and talk about what we think the decks will gradually look like. Probably in all the tournaments, there's probably not going to be a ton of differences. So it's going to come down to matchups and knowing those matchups, and we're going to get into that today. And the first video we're going to do is red. Yes, Luffy has been the main character throughout, and it makes sense to start with them. So we're going to get into most of the intricacies. A lot of the stuff we already covered about individual cards was done in the first set of videos for the Super Pre-Release, so I'll link that here. If you haven't seen that, we'll talk about the individual cards. Here we're going to be a little more intricate, talk about more matchup based. But first we're going to get into what we think most of your red decks were going to look like and what we think they'll probably look like. And Zach has been the big tester of red. Anything you want to start with?
Don't get caught in the trap of playing 12 cards with Rush. It's like, that's the most important thing I can say, honestly.
Okay, and that's something that I think we had in testing as well. We had the promo Luffy at a higher count, and the more and more that we played it, we just liked it a little less and a little less.
There was one point,
and it was going very well. I dropped like one game out of like 20. But I was playing 4 Sanji, 4 5-drop Luffy, 4 promo Luffy, and 4 of the reload card that's an inherent -1.
Yep.
Just because the goal was to consistently just hit like a rush card every turn. Like you just wanted to like apply pressure constantly. You didn't care about your hand size. You didn't care.
my total, like, the biggest goal was to just push face. But you're not going to win a major tournament that way.
Right. So I think that what we're alluding here is consistency. The unfortunate thing about the rush cards is they lack counter. We need to be able to find a balance between offense and defense if we're looking to last in a long tournament. So consistency we found to be important. Consistency and staying power. Cards that are going to stay on the board more than one turn, or we can help defend a little more effectively, more important. So when we see a lot of these videos, you're going to see these 2s and 3 drops, the 4Ks and the 5K vanillas, and especially the 4-drop vanillas. They're very cost efficient, they're strong for their cost, and they have combo power. They're going to be universal. You're going to see them in all of the colors. The counts will vary depending on you and you as a player and what you feel comfortable with, but very easily they'll probably take 10 slots, I think. And then for red specifically, I think a lot of the more important cards that we're going to play, make sure we're playing Brook. We have to play Brook. He's a 2K counter, and you need to play your heavy hitter at a 4 cost as well. And then our, for sure, Guard Point and Jet Pistol are at 4. I think Jet Pistol for this specific tournament does not miss a lot. Other than a couple of the purple cards and then one each on the other side for blue and green, Jet Pistol kills basically everything. We're looking to remove a lot of the important blockers. Red is still the most aggressive color in this deck, and removing these blockers is super, very important for this deck.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate if someone were to run less copies of certain cards to play more Diablos.
Yeah.
The card's also really good. Sometimes you just have a turn where you're like, well, I can't really play nothing, but I can put 14 mana and say swing unblockable, deal with it. Like,
yep.
And then pass. Like, go ahead. And if they don't kill you, you know.
And that's the yeah, I think that's a strong point as well to knowing when to defend your pieces as well. Your important pieces to defend are the ones that are going to cost your opponent more resources to kill. So your 6Ks, your Frankies, and your defensive Zoros with the Dawn on them, both will be standing 6Ks on your opponent's turns. These are the cards to defend. Your opponent will have to continuously invest in them, assuming they are not playing a card that will remove it. They're going to have to invest into attacking into it. So these are the cards that you're going to want to defend. Same thing if you're playing green, same idea when you play Drake. You want to defend Drake, you want to defend your Zoros, you want to defend your Frankies. Cards that you could try that we definitely like. Jinbei was a card, especially in green matchups, was very very strong. I don't know how much green we're gonna see. I think green has been the color we've seen the least in a lot of our testing, a lot of the conversations we'd have been involved in. But Jinbei is definitely a strong card. He's definitely good in that green matchup. He seems less effective though in the blue purple matchups, so that's why we divvied away and we're trying the Usopp instead. The Usopp is the card that can be good but can be bad. But at the end of the day, he's at least a 1K counter, which Jinbei is not. So that is the reason we made that call.
Sometimes Usopp just gets you there.
Sometimes
You're
Usopp gets you
you're
there.
you're trying to win. You need bodies on the board. Your board's fairly answerable. Like it's not like it's a very strong board setup like purple or
Yeah.
blue. Uh, this is really easy to break your board, and sometimes Usopp coming out of life actually just wins you a game out of nowhere because you can just math it out in your head and you have Usopp unblockable. Let's say you have a Jambé plus leader that's also unblockable. Like you just you get there. Another card that I used to play, I'm a big fan of, but I get laughed at for it. I played Karu.
Karu, the one
Sometimes,
drop.
yeah. Sometimes you need something to do on turn one when you go first, and you don't draw like Nami or Chopper.
Yeah.
Uh, and that card kind of just it sneakily deals the damage. Like you play it, and then your next turn you can be like, okay, play Nami, play Chopper, play Nami, play Vivi, move the 2 mana over to Karu, and now you have two 5K swings still.
True.
Um, it was just another way to apply pressure. It was combo power, but I inevitably came to the conclusion that Sunny is probably just better overall.
Right.
The extra combo you see from Sunny every turn is
No,
amazing.
yeah, I agree. The studies undeniable pressure too. They're not. There's nothing to remove stadiums in any of these formats or at all yet. So take advantage of your stage. You're one of the few to have one. Matchups are going to be important for red. I think inherently red favors green. It's very hard for green, I think, to deal with red. I think when you see green and you see Drake, you have to remove Drake. This goes for every color. I think Drake is the catalyst of that deck. Please do not let green get 2 Bonnie activations off. If you see Bonnie, please kill Bonnie. Bonnie should only get off 1 time. Another important matchup for this card is your Jet Pistol as well. Make sure we're hitting valuable targets. Law and Drake. Yeah, Law and Drake are going to be your targets. So save them for that. For blue, Jet Pistol again for Sentomaro and Crocodile, the SR, very important. Sentomaro is most likely not going to attack in that match, so Jet Pistol is our answer for that.
Blue is probably 80-20 your favor,
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah. I think that's the reason blue has been deviating from my tier list a lot is because I think they're going to struggle against red, and I think red with the additional promos is going to be a popular color in this tournament.
I think this is the tournament to play red. I think after this tournament you can no longer play red in these limited battles.
Yeah,
Not successfully anyway.
it's definitely going to be harder. For blue, I think I would agree that it's a very high favor. They could easily draw very well. That's why it's not 100%.
Yeah.
But if we are timing our jet pistols and we are defending our important cards here, I think we have a favorable matchup. You favor Frankie more than Zoro because of Teach, but we have cards that we could defend that are going to stay that blue doesn't have a ton of answers for. So at least the swarm.
Yeah.
Purple,
Yep.
however, is
It's a
uh,
nightmare.
it's a nightmare. That's one of the matchups that we are trying to get down, but if purple draws it, purple is gonna draw it. It's very hard for you to keep things on the board, which is your most important thing for this deck. So anything that can stay, we need to try to keep it. Purple has the ability to remove everything on our board. Kaido removes 6 drops. King removes 4 drops. Who's Who moves 3 drops. So this is something you're going to struggle with if you play red. There's not a lot of ways around it. So if purple draws it, just keep that in mind. If we don't play character cards, they are going to just kill character cards 1 for 1 in trades.
Yeah, purple's not a matchup that it's not like it's unwinnable,
Right.
but it is definitely unfavorable.
Yeah.
It's probably a good 40-60,
I would say it's 40
maybe
60.
more.
It might be more. It might be 70 30. If we went off our history, from it might be a little higher.
Yeah,
Um, but
yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
it was a day in the matchup, so I think it's closer to 70 30. I would guess, favoring purple. But do keep in mind they have to draw it. Purple does have a lot of cards without combo power that they have to play. This goes King, this goes Queen, or Kaido, this goes Onigashima, who also doesn't have combo power. A lot of their key pieces that they run at 4s or 3s don't have combo power, so keep that in mind. So we can be aggressive, and your leader is going to be your biggest source of damage because they're very good. Purple's very good at removing your character cards. So we're either playing a lot of character cards on one turn because all of Purple's removal is a one-off. They're going to play one card to take out one card. It's usually not playing two to take out two. So playing multiple character cards is good. So keep that stuff in mind.
Realistically, like purple, your best route against purple is a Nami on 1,
Yeah.
a Zoro on 3, hoping that they don't answer it, into a Luffy, and then you just have to pray. Like if they answer that Zoro, you're probably not winning that game because that probably means they still have the Queen and the King. Uh, but if they don't have the immediate answer, it your chances get increasingly better.
Yeah.
And I think this is why again, like I said it, if there's cards you decide to cut because they just don't favor for you and you want to play extra copies of Diablo, that's perfectly fine because that's probably your best friend against purple, to be honest.
Yeah, I would agree. Jet Pistol is slightly weaker against purple because King is unfortunately a 7-drop. But it does wipe Queen. If you see Queen, please kill it with Jet Pistol. Don't hesitate. Don't wait for it to go through a blocker. Just kill it.
Yeah, don't attack.
Just remove it with Jet Pistol. Don't try to trade, because you do have limited targets, and Queen is your best hit with that. The purple matchup is the reason I think a lot of the deck building for red is difficult because I think you would be more aggressive if it wasn't for purple. So keep that in mind when you play that matchup. That one's a little tough, so we recommend practicing. Get a friend. We'll watch our purple video, which will probably come out right after this one. We'll talk about that, and yeah. Anything else you want to add, Zach? I think that covers a
No,
lot of it.
that covers pretty much the bulk of it.
Yeah.
It takes time to learn red, I guess.
Red is, shockingly enough, I think red is a learning curve. I think playing too aggressive can be the downfall of red. There's no reason for you to be that aggressive. You can play a little slower. Keep in mind that red doesn't have a ton of draw, or any draw, actually. So your cards are need to count. They need to count. And yeah, that'll do it for the red limited battle video. Let us know down in the comments cards that you guys are trying, cards that you've been more successful with, matchups that you think we missed on. I think red does have strong matchups into blue, definitely. Green is a little closer because sometimes that Drake is just a problem. Purple, however, would be your negative matchup out of those three for sure. Let us know if you got into a limited battle. Let us know if red is your color of choice. And we'll see you in the next one. Later, guys.
Bye. We're going to